fuel-efficient car that does more than get you from point A to point B. Introducing the Cougar 4-door from Lincoln Mercury. 4 doors is one thing, but a Cougar is another.
Willem Scott's family has been fishing for generations. But today, like most Dutch fishermen, they're worried about the coastal waters. Every time a ship cleans its bilge, there's the danger waste oil is being pumped out too. That's why the people of ITT developed this optical fiber device. If there's a risk of pollution, an alarm sounds, so the pumping can be stopped, protecting Willem Scott's future and his sons.
You don't have to be a genius to change your own oil and filter and save yourself up to 10 bucks. Valvoline Motor Oil shows you exactly how quick and easy it is with step-by-step change instructions on the back of Valvoline cans. It's really quite simple. Once you get the hang of it, just see for yourself, then do for yourself. No wonder more and more drivers are changing their own oil and filters and changing to Valvoline. It's a smart way to save up to 10 bananas without a lot of monkeying around. Right, Val?
Tuesday, a CBS special movie presentation. The true story of best-selling writer Cornelius Ryan. He lived the good life until an illness changed his world and everything began to crumble.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Berger with Irv Cross. Quickly, let's go to the scoreboard now and get you up to date with everything that's going on around the league. 14-7, Philadelphia ahead of Washington. Yes, Montgomery has played. He's also scored on a 3-yard run, but he left for a time because of an injury. New England Patriots have just scored on an interception, and they have jumped ahead of the Jets 14-6. The Jets missed an extra point after Todd hit Gaines with a 15-yard scoring pass, and now Gaines is out with an injury. 31-3, that is an accurate score. And listen to this. The Atlanta Falcons have scored 2 touchdowns on recovered Gary Danielson fumbles in that game, and Bartkowski has thrown 43 yards to Alfred Jenkins for a score. Baltimore and Miami, they are tied in the second period. Uwe von Schamann nailed a 24-yard field goal to not that count there. And St. Louis, the game you're watching, dominating New Orleans, 27-0. More woe for the Saints. Cleveland ahead of Denver 10-6 in that game. Sipe has gone 40 yards to Reggie Rucker for a touchdown. Cockcroft has kicked a 29-yard field goal. Pittsburgh ahead of Minnesota 13-3. Bradshaw 25 yards. Calvin Sweeney for the score. Franco Harris scores from 4 yards out. And Seattle is dominating Houston. Even though Earl Campbell is playing, Jim Zorn has hit McCullum for the 5th touchdown pass of the year between those two. 22 yards in that game. And finally, Cincinnati and Green Bay are just underway, no score. Last week, there was an enormous controversy on the final play of the game between New Orleans and Miami. And Irv Cross, you come on in here because the commissioner now says there was no contact on this play, no offensive interference.
The rule, Brent, everybody knows, once the receiver gets up the field 5 yards, cannot be touched. The official judged the receiver pushed the defender down, calling offensive interference, therefore nullifying New Orleans' opportunity to score and win the ball game. The rule that we now know that there was no contact at all.
Now, one of the things the league said was that the official, when he had the angle on it, Irv, he was kind of in behind the defensive back, and they could understand why he called it because apparently the defensive back fell away. Do you think he was acting or he just slipped?
I think he just slipped. But, you know, when you get a situation like that, even though the official throws a flag down, the official with the best view of the play should be able to come in and overrule it.
Exactly. But that's the kind of year it is for New Orleans. Even a game they should have won goes down in the lost column. Let me show you some highlights now from around the league. How about Philadelphia and Washington? The Eagles, of course, trying to snap back after the first loss of the year in St. Louis, but Joe Theismann took them downtown on this one. 54 yards for a Redskin touchdown to Ricky Thompson, who simply outraced, busted a tackle, dashed in from the 10-yard line. Now Ron Jaworski coming on back, and he went to Leroy Harris for a touchdown. And Harris is somewhat overlooked, isn't he, Irv?
He really is. He's a pretty good running back. People don't recognize him for his receiving ability. Here he takes the ball down and scores and gets the Eagle offense on track.
Now here is a Theismann interception by Phil Roynell.
Everybody liked this. Coach Roynell Young was the #1 draft choice by the Philadelphia Eagles, and there were some questions of whether or not the youngster could really play in the secondary. The Eagles thought they could, obviously drafting him #1, but he has great speed, as you see here, taking the ball in a scoring position for the ball club.
And here is Wilbert Montgomery swinging wide to the outside, scoring on a 4-yard run. I have to chuckle. I called him Phil Roynell. It's Philly's Roynell, yeah.
That's right.
Let's show everybody a little Detroit and Atlanta, Irv, because it's just been an unbelievable game. New plays piling in. Watch the blocked punt. Falcon touchdown coming up. Frank Reed going to ram it in for a touchdown. And now, Irv, what a long afternoon for Gary Danielson. He's going to fumble here, and Buddy Curry's going to jump on it and score.
It's amazing, you know, when you're hot, everything goes well for you here. Danielson can't handle the ball, and Falcons pick it up and go in. The Falcons play very good special teams play as well as alert defense. Everybody knows that.
Watch this gorgeous pass by Bartkowski. Oh, it is as pretty as you'll ever see. Jenkins, end zone, touchdown Atlanta. And here it is again. This is not a replay, folks. Going the other way. Danielson going to cough it up. And Joe Williams runs it in for the touchdown.
Looks like the Grits blitz is back. I tell you, the Atlanta Falcons are certainly alert today. No question about it.
Unbelievable, isn't it? All right, how about some highlights from the game that you've been watching, St. Louis and New Orleans? The Cardinals, a lot of coaches said they got talent. If Hannafin ever gets them together, look out. Watch here, Morris, 2-yard touchdown run. That ended an 88-yard scoring drive. And now we get Mark Bell, and it's going to be an enormous punt return, 54 yards there.
1/3 of your plays in pro football are run by special teams. You have to contain people. Of course, the Cardinals had good scoring position on that play.
And then, of course, it was Morris for the score. Do you think they're looking away from O.J.? Maybe he's still a bit banged up. Now, here comes Jim Hart to Pat Tilley. Tilley, the leading Cardinal receiver this year, 7 yards and a score there. And finally, Wayne Morris back up over the top. And the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
They were urban guerrillas in designer jeans, and they succeeded in destroying their city. Not just another city, but one of the world's great cities. Watch 60 Minutes tonight on CBS.
Back in New York, where I'm sure the philosopher must have said, age appears to be best in 4 things. Old wood best to burn, old friends to trust, and old authors to read. Now, you notice he didn't mention football, because football is a young man's game. But take a look at the NFL Today's College Players of the Week. Joe Klein is safety and special team player with Roger Williams College in Bristol, Rhode Island. Joe Klein is a Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel. He is 40 years old. I've got over 600 missions in a helicopter, he says. Nothing here is going to be too bad.
I had a desire to see if I could still play football. I don't think anybody should be counted out simply because of their age. The first couple days, the first few steps in the morning when we were doing the 2-a-days were really something else. Made me aware of some muscles that I hadn't exercised probably since I was in high school. I don't think they look up to me really as a leader, maybe as a persistent guy, because I absolutely refuse to quit. But if I can whip any of them, then I'll get their position. It's that simple.
And now across the continent at California's Monterey Peninsula Junior College, keep your eye on number 50. He is Fritz von Berg, former taxi driver, construction worker, pizza shop owner, hairstylist. His uniform number is his age.
I've decided I'm not going to end my life sitting around saying I should have or if I. There's a lot of guys that like to be here that couldn't be, and I kind of see my role as part of playing out something they would like to do. I'm a very aggressive and hostile person. So one guy said, I don't want to hurt old man, and I told him later, you might well understand something, I'll knock you right out if I get a chance. You know, I won't fool around. So you better treat me the same way.
Unfortunately, Irv, you have used up all your eligibility. Northwestern would dearly love to have you back in some sport.
I would love to give the Wildcats a shot, too.
You're in better shape than those 40 and 50-year-olds, Irv. Now let's send you back to the stadium and the game you're enjoying.